na say na Nyankopɔn to ne nsa frɛ no ene dai na abusua kra na chikra enti me no ka say woda mpem ewo ne fie wotafo ho no mo na ebono ndu a ne ama no so de ne kwesase bontefum na akokora na chika kama ti wo say metie ma etuntum me ma me nua pa ekunu na asem na me kan enti je say papa so ma me nua pa ekunu asem na me kan enti no yakoba yakokora na chi woni krum sase bontefum ba na afi yabata pass school park ne so na yabenum na chisi kansa na je say ochina kwesi enso so no ho na no Christ Salvation Evangelistic Ministry ho na no nine anopa na no ne atrase na so ya sa akra na chikra
de ne abrabom obi kwa ye bewu obi nso na afi nyame de afi aka ne mfie ho nti born again ye nya ne sai na afi ene eyo awoda blessing jima wosum wotana so gesemeni o papa ene kwame juma na oba palenda ose one enkra ne nyina no omo we blessing juma happy birthday and confirm blessing juma of Tanaswa from Opapa Kwame Juma and squad nina the dawn sky was on the pay or your portrait on also monitor show Nintendo blessing Edason Ninti we are no fast for be I know question no never pay him to much pie metadiso ti
na say squad go ebe da ho no
ma kwa na ho
ebe ho
babo enyo
stop the interference. CAF warns GFA over appointment of the coach for the Black Stars of Ghana. Or see, you can only ask for or see, you can only check expenditure and not appointment of coach. We don't want another normalization.
CAF na ewoni
CAF general secretary.
Kata we na official me de boy kokwa na sen konfo na akot baby atraba.
General secretary no say we odin. Nti utimi say CAF fo bo fu Ghana. Papa. Say mo ko faculty.
Ye tia say dey yes dey atene say show mo yan show mo afefo na dey atum. Nti o mo me home. Na yesu ni tua ka no.
Ene ma me fe no ento aso na ma ba other ones no so. Na just say ye kwa no GFA avert possible crash with the government. They cave in the appointment of Chris Whitten. This is the FNO who said the next one dear offer. So my reya can the assembly and you know, or my jatuma, Chris Whitten so I'm not managing man. Why not? I will tattoo my body with the GPL Ghana Premier League trophy if I win it with House of Folk. Sule Ali Muntari no. Sule Muntari no. Na offer no ordinary wakohwe ho. Wo say oji league no a obe tattoo league no. So ne has league no be tattoo league no.
Be tattoo atone nsa ho.
Sule abawo.
Aba.
Na ni abre papa
kasa na bempa.
Oh yeah.
Kasa performance no be fa.
Obe Sule de obe. Mi da me gini di.
E fa e be fa.
Say oni has league no a.
Oba to ne nsa ho to akohwe ne nsa no be ya to say be ya to right high ne say what ne ne bonkum so ho okay
unso no ya bonkuma otimi boni fa ne de bonkuma no boni kase pa enti se say de Muntari otimi say we de ni blaba league ni say no all of a sudden no ma house hope league na obi ani say kotokode ko no Muntari say oni house be league no ya tattoo de ato ne nsa ho enti eno so enno
okay
phobia for life launch the second time over and run a house for lunch phobia for life. We say na so mo ye first one no ye fiasco anye and no am say am person say to my relaunching na omo target 100,000 people in the month of February in February e women omo target so menya nipa 100,000 na 100,000 people no say nipa 100,000 obi abusum bia betua 5 cedis minimum so betua akọ 200,000 Ghana cedis kwa money problem but when tua kra no 5 cedis there bosumi bia almost say farmer house e ba ne sa no a na kire say afinu mu nyina anko na wie no omo target say ometima raise 6 million Ghana cedis sponsorship bia no betima mo sense kai just 100,000 people here omo ka 200,000 omo ka 300,000 omo ka 1 million people omo see just 100,000 supporters of House of Folk we house supporter power just 100,000 of you 5 Ghana cedi
ekoba no be
we dey me fa bi nka ho we dey bi ka ho ombeje but 5 Ghana cedi pe na just say what my mom 6 million company be no bet mama has can Ghana no amount in the month of love make it 9 out of 9 offer who say bosom we odo bosumi kotoko supporters no ese ko team no show mo love na omo nya no 9 out of 9
kotoko team no supporters no
there be supporters no say team no show love to the omo supporters
o maka de omo no hia o
ese support penifo no atred omo hia fi supporters no
na no mo ye
mo mra mo metua sika mo oh na say visual seat omo tua
me ka stadium na omo fele no we be ko na de onu omo de pressure be nyina mo nko stadium ya mo nko na nyefe
ofa omo mo ka stadium ko
okay Matthias
so make it 9 out of 9 na unim fixtures na ewo mu no Eduada omo ko fi team no so
sharks
omo ko kumu madi tare no maji ato ho
say that kwani act na odum say
say what get betimi dey
atia ko abone tin
what shark no so no da yina san yi do kotoko no yina san won enti okokuna edi wo ho no ama eno de anka say o shark awu abas na sa bana abas na kasa abone wo abas na beka abas na kai just sorry na second one no kotoko Accra Lions and also no Matthew Madi. Na third one no 20th no
which is House of Folk,
which is Kotoko has and a has Kotoko
outstanding
and supporters say almost say or double speed here
3 out of 3
my do na do ye pay fu ho nyina say you know 9 out of 9
but I say ba fo wa ya me inshallah na yemra emeto aso na minim ne to zakitu timi obia se mokotwa fam na aka ho no mo miensan na mede mara kwa ba Ephraim Afrifa Chei efeshono from China. I want to know Ghana's next coach ne de no Virgin Chei Mensa efeshono from Akokare Obuase no Kwantempo so agesina na kojo Iman
amfa na unse esi na nipa omo teso pa efense investors no omuna na what means omukasa no soro pa anope wa unipa Solomon Kata
Solomon Kata
ose ne pro on T sports and so that means wa ko invest na aze so no my United and also ko invest
disappointed in the team who can investment so first half of us how we game ni bia Manchester could have scored 6 and I already ko penalty to tune here
and ye game no koso na wonya penalty so
penalty to tune here
na go mai
say go ready about 25 minutes
na nkofo na hye
dabi nkofo ni second half no mbe hye
me bawo Manchester de ka say penalty
nkofo na no fair Manchester second half na keso kom so titi Manchester bi
Manchester de Kenya penalty and nkofo no mu hye chemu ye go no ma hwe na mo ba bi
on the 20th minute and United nya penalty
good sabe na go mai
na go let's draw
good
and almighty Cristiano Ronaldo
and when you 37 and 38
oh yes
37
almighty Cristiano Ronaldo ebo no tetwene
penalty no tetwene
amfa pom kra
esro
yes nenam asie nyeso de minus obo no an target kra and obo say no then on 25th minute he had to score the first goal and omudi ba unim manya botra hwebola you see how I feel no coaches are the easiest target. Ama something that we should be worried about. Coaches have become the easiest target when team perform. And I say team and win match. Because I ask myself, say, for example, another game, send about weekend. It has nothing to do with coaching. A game that you bought one way, now United about 28 shots. On target about 9. Now, but again, mame Bruno Fernandes chance on the second half. Bruno Fernandes chance on the second half to Tino Sheboy. Me pacho he be a keeper na da. Ewo.
After no oba.
Na she be a Bruno Fernandes boy. Bruno Shenyan kupe ni bobo no bopu.
Put this anyway. As soon as you know the me bawo what if I be an someone or the Bafaha?
Eko ball
We know. Oh, send a lack.
You see, okay,
Lacana.
The left side of the pool.
we like Clementino. Therefore, remember Facebook. I remember Tino see we lack.
Boy,
when you lack asem, we and your coaching so asem. Say, ya bobo empty net, Bruno Fernandes of all Bruno. It's a boy, it's a guy Bruno. Obana sample, but Bruno should not put in Bobo no go pone on the Ocean Steven on the left.
The picture may not give you enough. No. Oh, so you watch the entire game.
Yes, I am baller. Keep on Urbano. Keep on. I feel Odimini cable. It's just a normal tap in. But only Bruno wanted to go for the extra. I want to use some word. I said, far corner of the end. So by trying to go far corner on them, no.
No, the person say it was a good chance. Okay, I'll be to me. I share simple, but the can say the picture does not give you the pressure on Bruno. Picture na da hono. Emma how other players, any goalkeeper na kasa the position of the goalkeeper na here no. The goalkeeper was running quickly. And I heard said there's a defender behind him. Clementino had no. Said there's a defender behind him, like somebody closing him. And the goalkeeper too is running to his position. And the picture no kwa there, it wouldn't give you how other players were rushing Bruno. How the pressure? Are you getting it? So that.
But picture ya born again susu rush. No ne dey cast on the ball. Mesro. The yeah you. Aha, we dey say crab boy. Okone ni masan ko betum kwa sa atwene so. Uduru adaka ma ya na yo hini yo.
The weekend I said it was a good chance. Any question was said.
Say no ha.
But me can say picture no kwa there. Emma who that immense pressure na omde ko to Bruno so no. Because quickly the defender behind him no run pressure. And the keeper no so rush. And he decided to go to that far end. Send a bear as a goalkeeper no turn humpa. Goalkeeper no sanya dey.
But goalkeeper when we just put in na hono kwada ho.
Say Popoba ball be drew method. I watch the entire game. Popoba na press high. And no the ball na chair. And to press high and then a ball na ba di Bruno nsem. So that time the goalkeeper was out of position because at the time na Popoba press and na ball ni kita omo team no. So what has here? Exactly. Yeah.
Then Bruno took a control and then hit the ball. Meanwhile, Kofi is trying to save Bruno because
save Bruno was one that baby a born than ness but so what can we want to but ninam like it but enko and then
fancy born again for bakura to so na menchirade we say we no first one we na born yam be I say we share this as now Bruno born again for bakura to so na men fan kasem na menche the reason why Bruno any reason why she miss a chance Tino, she screen so. I feel they were very born. Bono, I feel no, Naka Bono, this picture. Bruno Naka Bono. Come on, Bruno Naka Bono. Look at where the keeper is. And look at where the defender is. And can you say, yeah, I will close soon and sign over Bono. Look at the distance between the goalkeeper.
Nagabu, when even on defender, no, you know. This
was the time that Bruno kick Bono. So, yes, Bruno is a fantastic player. But when quite a coffee. It is a chance that Eseneka Bruno way we shall not see.
So we are in every out in fan coach.
No. Where we are no. On one case first half. I'm saying is it Pogba also? And I said Emma a long Bobby. Obi two offside trap no. Esenko control no ball share no about beam and afa olugo keeper no about beam. I Sancho. No about say no akobo ba. Rashford chance. One goalkeeper, no about for bar. It was a game that, like, United were not short of chances, decent ones, of course. You know, I don't say anything now. I go penalty no. I say we are say as someone to uncle for cancel and uncle we or wa and uncle Kofi or wa and uncle Harry or wa uncle Babua. Okay, I say United go Europa League final against final Sevilla final no. And there be Villarreal and a penalty shootout. And the year Mobona no na mahana bona ma wanche bakokora and I'm say the year no penalty coach na only a mistake because I penalty because ko de Henderson and a big game mum because no penalty Tino Enra, Henderson, Dean Henderson. Ball now on I'm left, the ball on right. Yes, so Ronaldo said the keeper or the ball nature Ronaldo Diano. Tommy no dear chile. Keeper also or trip a follow ball. But the Henderson dear, Tino. Ball now, so I'm left, I ball on right. And we shop when I'm saying, where a comedy did at them no second the year. Safana so come in free. No come do a bum. Let's Yambo Mabaso. He said they are a small team, Middlesbrough, and just a small team that Odo compare to come to Old Trafford to achieve this success. No, good. And then I wish I can make a Jibo and Mzoto was it. There was an incident. United benefited. Okay, Champions League. Ronaldo Sheguma. Maybe I like to be. Let me change it. Why? Ball. United players are go near G. Bana Mzoto ne Jibo. I try to understand. My point I'm making. No, sorry. The law has been changed. I was insisting that Omasa so long. I found 40 Sharon in 2021. Say
you are not crying. Say Bono Nanka.
No, a clean go. A clean go. No, a clean go. Based on the law. So, based on the law, a clean go. Because the law I say Bono a bone sa. Now no the share go on the go. One will alone. Say a bomb sa. Me about me sanana mlishe go na born a yenje.
I'm saying intentional.
No, even intentional. We say born. Like for example, born we dey born insano. Ono na say go na nkenye go. Omonje.
That's what control about.
Aha. But ono control born we no.
No possible.
I don't parent dey omaji go meji go.
Enye the same now.
Yes. This law looks unfair. Like enye fair, but that is the law. United benefited from it in the Champions League against Atalanta. And that is the law now. But now I don't feel because I'm a United fan and me defender. But that is the law now. Because I have Latino or control born, Cabana Monas and Keko out. Bona Monas and Keko out. But the inside of control man, he control it and score. A clean goal. And I'm a new winner. As a United coaches and everybody will no on both, but a clean goal that he has scored. The only positive thing about yesterday's game, about Pogba. And he showed that yes, he is one of the missing links at United are missing. We had the statistics in the first half. Tino, very very impressive, and United supporter. Based on the system that now coach in Airborne, United will always need Pogba around Bruno because the number of chances United they create and the chances no quantity. Say, the more you are creating, no, the higher percentage. Say, bet me I should go. I was happy to see Pogba in the game once again. And okay, these are the 10 chances. No, Tino, and then there was Derby della Madonnina. Ewo Giuseppe Meazza. Inter Milan neighbor home against AC Milan. A big game. Now here's the Serie A table now. Inter have 1 game lesser than AC Milan. But they tell me AC Milan 4 points with 1 game lesser than AC Milan have played in the Italian Serie A. What it means is that today, say Inter Milan and that points in the best stretch 7 with another game in hand. And then just like you can say the moment Inter Milan wins this game, AC Milan the leg in there. I know more hope. Some I was said there. I don't quite for me any again say yeah consistent. I never be the minute could be consistent about AC Milan and league part there. I'm going to be in. But and then the moment Inter Milan wins this game, now almost 7 points with 1 game in hand. Now be a Inter Milan Napoli, but not AC Milan, based on the points board up. Now Tino, side game no. What in terms of current form? Adeba quite Simeone Inzaghi in the mountain area FNS in their last 10 Serie A games. Oma drop only 2 points. In their last 10 Serie A games, Oma winning 10, about draw 1. So they've been form no idea. Nobody in the Serie A can match Inter Milan form no. Now them as man here friend say season when you lose only just a game pair, and that was when Lazio show by 3-1. It's the only game Inter Milan have lost this season. Only 1 game per Milan and lose. internet lose. So it show why they are leading the league table and why they are the favorite to win the title series because of current form. Now the man in the game, you know, we are AC Milan supporter. Yes, you'll be worried, kakra. Okay, on my last 9 meetings, these derby games, last 9, AC Milan winning only back up. The last 9 derby meetings, Milan have won only 1. 6 win for Inter and 2 drawn games. You know, Inter Milan in recent years have dominated this fixture. On what is AC baby panya bomb left and right, bomb chichomani so left and right. So one fixture that Inter have dominated. Giuseppe Giuseppe or San Siro. They've dominated this fixture. And then me show how AC Milan last season they won this fixture by 2-1. I remember Zlatan early 2 goals be Oshama AC Milan and Lukaku Tebako first half near 2-1. Sound of the point near 2-1. So fixture that this same venue away as AC Milan they won this fixture by 2-1 last season. It's interesting. Say AC Milan league, you know, omuntimi enye content entry India because of their home form, not because of their away form. So league table now often away. Atalanta any the most points away, 30 points. The next team, AC Milan, only 26 points away. The AC Milan league, you know, free. And that's free, you know, because of their home form. Because at home, AC Milan last 3 defeats Omanyani Serie A ni nyano, Omanyana Abranombo, Omubo home, Sassuolo. This Spezia and one other game of Mulusu at home. Ninya no hit from Mulusu na enye team na commercial mo. Enti I think say a game that I'll go for 2-1 win for Inter Milan at Giuseppe Meazza because of Inter form no and where AC Milan are coming from no. I think say a 2-1 win for Inter Milan won't be bad. Tino, what's the AFCON no so a weekend you watching na. Any AFCON final between Egypt and Senegal. So we do interest on Liverpool performing. And I continue to know. It's been nearly out of the support.
Mama sang Sadio Gia Nanka the crab no.
So
Nani Beje.
No just look for me now but Bobinano
Sadio. Wabre for did no abre no bia.
It's Oxna and the grand finale of the AFCON. Now I'm a little bit worried for the Egyptians honestly. Because the run of Egypt echo final. Now Senegal so route to final now. Relatively no. Because Egypt for no fixtures name more than as compared to Senegal. Senegal for round of 16th Cape Verde almost 2-0. Quarter final almost Equatorial Guinea 3-1. Semi final almost Burkina 3-1. So if you look at the teams that Senegal played from round of 16th Cape Verde, Equatorial Guinea, Burkina Faso, certain and so when you're bien noir or yet African football AFCON and Casan or Dimutin my only your behind AFCON Nibida. But Okoshe Senegal, sorry, Egypt for no route to final now. Now we are no 5-time champions in Cameroon free win the semi final. No before then, no my Morocco 1-time champion. Before then, no my Nigeria. Sorry, Ivory Coast. Also the film. So now so no Egypt for no extra time. And Egypt for 120 minutes at was me answer. And Ochena Senegal for at least say OBB first 45 minutes they very key. Where Egypt for no ball Cameroon no son of ball Senegal Ochena. And ball no first half NFA.
Musoti Jomedia Banana say ya na breno ntino.
Okay. Egypt cannot go toe to toe with you for 90 minutes here because of how or more stretch or more. Also about extra 90 minutes than Senegal for no. So 30. It's about extra 90 minutes than Senegal for no. So what they will do is that first half no, first 5 minutes no. On my try say they will be in the game. And so on my boy nyefe. Ntakwa no more the daho, no more delay tactics. Sana baya ball for 5 minutes no. They will be in the game. No matter the energy for the second half no. Sana ball no tisa Senegal for LBB ya. It was 45 minutes no. I'm push Senegal Egypt for no. Push them and get a goal in the first half. And make me abo Senegal but omunima Egypt for no I relax it sa eba second half from one. That is why they will be dangerous because Egypt for push you penalty shootout you are in problem. na who say two things AFCON no measure miensa first time in 1986 Senegal won 1-0 yom and they said the only goal more their next meeting na 2002 Mali and also it was a good game. Senegal won 1-0. Lamine Diatta scored the only goal. And their last meeting, a knockout semi-final 2006. Abra Egypt host to AFCON 2006. They met Senegal in the semi-final. It's Senegal 2-1. Ahmed Hassan scored. Ahmed Zaki scored on that day. Almost Senegal by 2-1. So yes, Asian meetings in Senegal won 2, and Egypt win 1. Their last competitive meeting, qualifier. Okay, 2015 say Egypt qualify by AFCON. Senegal for almost away. Almost Egypt away 2-0. Dakar and 1-0. Cairo. Egypt qualify by AFCON 2015. And you know, in recent times, Senegal have been the dominant force. Oh my idea. And Senegal team no one on any day. They can compete with any team. Even when they are not at their best. They should be breaking Senegal team, no. And to me, so much a game that my heart is with the Senegal team, honestly, because of Omabre 2002 final penalties near J from Minsem, the last AFCON penalties near J from Minsem, and I think I leave CC as a captain final, as a coach final, Nina will lose, you know. My heart actually is with the Senegal team, which I think Omunya narrow win 1-0 be anyone, but they should be very careful. So game no penalties there. Then ebe Egypt game.
But I say Zakito, sir.
Tino.
Boko there.
Ina mi adum bia boko. Yeah. So asema de bia ba bidio.
Ya watch e ko crop odwum a. Hono wo. Do na fa na 5:30.
Oh, okay.
Do wa de fe bia beja.
Okay.
No na ni ha.
Okay, I see. Me brother, me chiao. Me fe so obi chiao de.
Oh yes.
You have to appreciate it. So me dana say.
We share na da me na we me nua
say obi abechama de so
fancy
before I say bibia akra no I say me dana say good. See Tino, we have witnessed an awesome African Cup of Nations. So picking from any angle you understand say this has been one of the best tournaments in the history of the African Cup of Nations. I mean 33rd edition of the tournament, but this has been one successful, very very good tournament, and global attention, and global image. If you see for na baba heard this tournament we, because Bibia was a tournament with the amount South tournament with the amount. Big boys, surprises, upsets. Sound no many na tension, intensity. Cameroon for a free mono. I say at some point in time na stadium was some announcement to say Cameroonians na almost stadium no omon keep calm like omomo makuma omususun for makuma na omo ya do makuma kwa share game ni mu dodo. They were afraid they say Egypt for ko share goal because penalties there say na could do penalties at
50
anybody's game. But say Egypt for the kwahye last minute goal na one say nipa dudu e betimi collapse e was stadium hono. At some point in time na omo communicate the mom say so mbet obi anyi na koma omo form omo makoma na bra from kakra. That was the game, the semi-final game between Cameroon and my friends say Egypt. Comoros besha Ghana, 4-time champions, no pamo Ghana free tournament in him. The maiden edition of tournament at the more my friends say Comoros. And the surprises the defending champions Algeria et me make it out of the group. And the Algeria both group stages no Clementino no head Okofi the defending champions. So this has been the tournament in Aheno. The bigger boys are here so more. Sadio Mane any more Salah today omo na ekobo final. And TV bia was said this tournament at the Mayin Biano tournament at the Amai. Now into the game. See Senegal for ever this particular final. Now, South final we divided attention kakra and answer support kakra. Me pe Salah sempa. There why ye dem Liverpool nti. Anybody who a football career na kwa kudru. Since the start of this season, senior tournament when you buy if you are assessing players based on European football no more ball in Europe, you could say Mo Salah is the best player this particular season. Then post all the AFCON tournament you can still classify him as the best player this particular season since the start of the season. Mo Salah bono. There's no single player match a branch friends Mo Salah. But Egypt have a history to protect. And for you to be classified as one of the legends of Egyptian football, you need to lift this particular trophy. And it's a Mo Salah bet me pijasa trophy where Ebema the legacy no person what Egypt as a football nation no sadie no aye complete. Now because I me pen as me nya gonko for this trophy. There's all pick Senegal Clementino. Already a friend say Aliou Cisse no me crazy about that guy, the head coach of the Senegalese national team. The Oyadema Senegal in 2002. Omo World Cup any AFCON. Any day oba for the Senegalese national team. Edo about 2 finals. 2019 then of course 2021 year boy in 2022. Amame with so much respect and so much support for coach and friends Aliou Cisse. And Timian Kasa na mi jina say over Senegal 2002 South squad no mo the boy Abra no mo ball in Mali or mobile final against Air Cameroon. Who said they lost on penalties. In 2019, Omulusu another final, they lost 1-0 to Algeria. It is watched the margin of defeat in the 2 finals. No Omulusu na Baku Air 1-0. Baku they lost on penalties. So very very slim margin in terms of defeat when it comes to final games no Mobono. Now ayana is so painful say at any point in time on Bea Sambosa Galaxy of Stars no omuntime to also NJ major trophy for my friends Senegal. And then Clementino, we are talking about Sadio Mane, right? Say you bet now compare the impact of Sadio Mane on the Senegalese national team to the impact of Hadji Diouf, okay? In 2002, Hadji Diouf was playing for Liverpool. And Sadio Mane, ne contribution to the Liverpool setup, no? Then of course Senegal national team, no? Ubetime equate sir, and Senegal for us also produce another Hadji Diouf. Diouf with the Okoya World Cup, SABN AFCON. And it's all for national team this year. In 2002, Hadji Diouf and they have a player Otimi Masa impact on Diouf at the moment. For 2002, squad no one and a captain Aliou Cisse, the head coach. Over Aliou Cisse, the level of football boy, any impact on Yan was Senegalese national team no so no. And they will bet me for Kalidou Koulibaly, okay? No one for the impact on the Senegalese national team as a centre back. Let's not forget, in 2002, Aliou Cisse was the captain of the team. Today, Kalidou Koulibaly is the captain of the team as a centre back. So you can equate the two and say, sir, Aliou Cisse impact in 2002. They are having a similar player in a branch of France, Kalidou Koulibaly, the impact on the Senegalese national team. So offer Papa Bouba Diop, ubet me for Sheikh Kouyaté as a central midfielder. No equity omo. But in 2002, Hadji Diouf was at a penalty. Omo Tinyanje. Okofa Hadji Diouf. How was struggle yeah? And then the question is, Senegal for bet me a remedy sa no man see in 2002. Ade kwesi in 2019. On bet me yes ade against my friends Egypt na. And it's a big question. Why? Because Clementino. So over Egypt, they are the most fortified team in terms of the spiritual aspect of the game. How compact they are physically. Tactically, how coach Carlos Queiroz is good. But so we say no money everywhere. On my friends say Egypt, they are the most spiritually fortified national team when it comes to the African Cup of Nations. So no more about AFCON Tino, I don't know. Element of luck be our final animal be a good ho. Be pabia bet me the tournament because in my opinion, Clementino, you don't only need tatters and quality players in games like this. No. We hear something extra. I want to be kaka be can hold them out. So no matter what's a can hold them out. No. Clementino, it always goes to my friend say Egypt. It is all share. in 2008 yeah, starting from 2006 omoje final and they won the final. Egypt won the final against Ivory Coast. Check the squad of Ivory Coast then. Kolo Toure, Yaya Toure, Didier Drogba, Arena Dindani, Didier Zukura, Emmanuel Eboué, Arsenal Satan Akobo Champions League final kraba. No mo do mo koye. Omo ball 90 minutes ball extra time we na 0-0 no mo do ma penalties no ma je. The two them omo nim say ye gira sa 90 minutes na se ye biema. Omo timi ne Drogba mo bobo no. Kolo Toure mo ye big players. Kadaketa, these are big boys. Omo timi ne omo tete omo anom dom call final penalties and omo G 2006 omo ba Ghana in 2008 pepa omo na musa na Cameroon for che no mu ye film semi final omo ko che Cameroon omo sha omo the final game na sha no Accra no you could see say Egypt for they are so much fortified. Okay, 2010 the last time they won against Ghana boy tournament ni na describe a tournament ni saying one goal project Milo ya one goal project Ghana the one goal project na ko do en fa final you do final game no Ghana one goal no e switch from Ghana to Egypt Uteni they scored only one. It was 1-0 in the final against Ghana
na Gado share no
Mohamed Gado of the bench never share but yeah tournament no from group stage quarter finals yeah the one goal project na eko yeah through final no and yeah one goal no switch to Egypt so Egypt scored that one goal yeah one goal na she et me catches in the gap for the say country no mbaba be show no they are the most spiritually fortified country we almost show through final element of luck be our football mu bia no na switch akwa akudi on side and they have a very big game at their hands today. See Matome Boas share the strength of the two teams. Egypt for and one American what about Mohamed Eneni? Mohamed Eneni is playing like Andra Pelou, Xavi in this tournament. Ojeno Hwanya den ontiase. Okwa asane bi ohun no so. Obe struggle. But tournament na ekoso no. Mohamed Eneni is playing like an established midfielder, one of the best. Now at the center of the pitch, on the control mu game ni na the intelligence level no was low. And we are talking about the Egyptian defense. They have defended very well because they have conceded only 2 goals. They have kept 4 clean sheets in this tournament here, and interestingly, they've scored only 4 goals in the tournament. No final. Egypt 4, or match 4 goals. Only 4 goals, and I don't could do final. So you ask yourself this question, say, and your matter can drive more, and also with defense. In my opinion, it has been the defensive network of Egypt. They've cut 4 clean sheets. Now, I disobeyed me penetrate more. Even without Hegazi. Oh, you're more fair choice center back. I will pray free mono. So, all form center back, now form goalkeepers, and in my opinion, they have the best goalkeepers at the tournament. And Gabaski ni beba. And it is a mobile game, Nena said, Drew Baby Adrian. They will try to control the game and take you to penalties. Because when them say do penalties, the game is theirs to lose. And so once again, they will expect the work rate of Mohamed Eneni. Say Eneni bet me massage glimpses of performance. Sorry. Bet me massage glimpses of performance on the and no bet me control the back line. He becomes the spine of the team. The back line, of course, that forward passes no mo de be Mo Salah. Meka no first day ametana America Egypt for 7 am ka say Egypt 40 minutes seem they are obsessed with Mo Salah. Bob don't be the man. Why? Because one of that weight and that intelligence. Mamush mo any side intelligence no. Now some boy in crucial stages and then they bring one branch a friend such as again. So measure the battle between Eneni, Idrissa Gana Gueye, Sheikh Kouyaté, and Mendy of Air Leicester City. These 3 midfielders of Senegal, they've also formed a very strong midfield. Omo keep Senegal going. But here, so can be a boomer. Game with the I am Yasako PC, honestly speaking.
Yeah, the near Bakuna Beji.
Yeah, I am Yasako PC because me who baby America as I'm from support. Somebody can actually why me who baby I'm fan support unko. But so ubisame pa on paper and come who Senegal for someone a Beji tournament we. Ubisame pa on paper. Because Matome Boas show more it's difficult to break them, just like Egypt. But one thing they have at Egypt for Shadanya and say they create a lot of chances. Omunyina were awesome defensive network. Senegal for Ecomasem, they've also kept 4 clean sheets. So in terms of defense, they are also good. But the difference between the two teams in NSA, Senegal for chances in Umukriti, and you no be and Egypt for Kriti. But yeah, quite some American. Young boy, no boys, a better final. Ube Huanafi, Senegal for chances and crime. When you think about Egypt in the final, you don't get it. So, in my opinion, on paper, I'll go in for Senegal. But so Kikasa no man American wants a minina the spiritual fortification and it's your mentality in the final and in that boomer. I also go for my friends at Egypt. So we are in for a very crucial game, Clementino.
But I say Kofi Ricky, me koji boho na zakito to message here from sport director UK. Or see we want only back.
Tell Zakito to analyze the game and stop talking about the new law. We want only back. Now, do you know how time changes? We and I was saying we want local news. Read it on air. All of a sudden,
open. Okay, I'm ready. Yeah, go Jibo.
Okay. 9-9.
Aye.
9-9. Tino, Ochina. You better wait say AFCON final. Roughly them say about 52 games. 24 countries. No, you ain't me 52. You say 54. Yeah, now 54. Yes, until you been at the final as the 54th game of the tournament. 24 teams in the Coupe Cameroon. Tino, Ochina another moment. The city of Dakar. Ebesomo witness say the Senegalese national team coming to Senegal with the Cup of Nations trophy. There be a mekama asem say success eba in many forms. Success eba in many forms. Siebekaya 2002 Senegal call World Cup no after playing in the final ewo AFCON na ekoso ewo ye Mali no. Cameroon show mo on penalties no. City Dakar recognize some movement as a success because for the first time in the history of Senegal, omobo AFCON final. For Cameroon, omo winning tournament no, even though omo jubilate, but enye equal to the first time a Cameroon for J Cup of Nations. It was Senegal were losers on that afternoon. Ewo Mali no. Country friend says Senegal ehun a success. Then omo to asoko World Cup. Their first game at the World Cup was against Air France. Omobai as defending champions of the World Cup. And that game was played on the 31st of May 2002. It was so World Cup Stadium. Yebo game new year, you know. Na Senegal actually the defending champions because France and Argentina 98 World Cup. These players, Tony Silva, Ferdinand Coly, Lamine Diaté, Papa Malik Diop, Omar Daf, Aliou Cissé, Moussa Ndiaye, Papa Bouba Diop, Salif Diao, Khalilou Fadiga, El Hadji Diouf. We win the ball almost started that game against France. Ebeye heroes across Senegal, especially their capital Dakar. It's not like they had won the World Cup. Among the World Cup, but so much France in Kwande, Omuhu na success. It's offer Senegal, almost France. Echo quarter final, Emma take share omo. Any Brazil omoje World Cup in 2002. Senegal first celebrate omo World Cup story no more than Brazil omoje World Cup in 2002. But they were not the eventual winners. It is success nearby in many forms in the Bini. Players here ebo mudi Tino plus Henry Camara and knockout stage no. Obey decisive Edema Senegal team no. Senegal for who as heroes. And then oh yes Senegal ni na about the Senegalese national team. I'm not sure say move ko Senegal and fa hone adoye dodo a Sadio Mane ye. But eney ubusa Senegal for say in their history when it comes to football, why mo pa na mo mani agye as a country a omo for mo san ko che Sadio Mane so. Omo do mo se be ko che Diouf.
Aside ni suba ni nyina.
Debi fa suba ne to nchen. Fa suba ne to nchen.
Senegal has had players Julius Bukandi do baby na yemfa ne say in the modern Senegalese football they work as on na obey the big name.
Yeah, 92.
Then Suleiman Sani Leroy Sani Obama Man City SC Bayern, right? Ne papa enti omo ne lead ya afa e be call for then history na Ejibode ma ono. This gentleman led the Senegalese team to do those wonders. And you see, it was a team that and yes, we are not
chipping
but they were playing good football as well.
Okay.
Right? The game against France now, almost France 1-0 no. They disciplined France. Tactically, very disciplined, good football and good game.
And from baby about for free bano. Tino. This was the French team. Fabien Barthez, Liran Thuram, Frank Leboeuf, Marcel Desailly, Vicente Lizarazu, Emmanuel Petit, Sylvain Wotot, Yuri Yokiev, Thierry Henry, David Trezeguet. Zidane was injured. Zidane and Sa gave me because Oba World Cup no wepra, but he was part of that team. It would me shed these players are which majority of these players normally a part of France team Nigeria 98 World Cup no ma France was to no. It to almost Senegal for no sada no mo share France no o ma World Cup. It is said 2006 Ghana call World Cup no. Said the celebrity your first World Cup na ekwe no. Enye equal to say the celebrity 2010 World Cup. But the biggest achievement at the World Cup na see ekobi no e the ekwe in 2010. I be the third African country to play at the quarterfinals of the World Cup. By Eko 2006 no. Na you World Cup da. Enko obi da. It's energy and a woman no na change bibia. And nothing make us a success eba in many forms. Obia we kwan of us home ne success. And a game na yebebo no Tino. My anya de kakra bi. Ye real 2000 see 2 ni din and am say ready the new millennium. Me boa. Okay. E pese me twa amanfo adwene si ade so kakra bi no mo hwa ade. Nti let's start from 2000. AFCON finals ayabo. 2000 Ghana and Nigeria ne host here. Final ne Cameroon and Nigeria. Okay. After 120 minutes of action, ne 2-2. Then Cameroon winning 4-3 on penalties. 2002 Mali and the host 2 tournament no. Cameroon ne Senegal. Senegal ya come masemi. Omo bo mo first AFCON final. After 120 minutes of action, 0-0. Inti penalties and Senegal winning 3-2. Then Tunisia host 2004. Tunisia and Morocco in the quarter final. Tunisia she Morocco 2-1. 2006 Egypt in the host year. 120 minutes of action, 0-0 penalties 4-2 in favor of Egypt. Then 2008 Ghana in the host year. Egypt Eshe Cameroon 1-0 and over the J Cup no. 2010 Ekosu Angola. Egypt Eshe Ghana 1-0. Then Gabon Equatorial Guinea 2012. Zambia and the Ivory Coast in the quarter final. 120 minutes of action. Game near 0-0. Zambia winning 8-7 on penalties. Then you move to South Africa 2013. Nigeria Burkina Faso 1-0. Equatorial Guinea 2015. After 120 minutes of action, Ghana Cote d'Ivoire 0-0. Penalties Cote d'Ivoire winning 9-8. Gabon hosted the tournament in 2017. Cameroon share Egypt 2-1. Then 2019 Ekosu Egypt. Algeria share Senegal 1-0. There is something familiar here. My name is Tino Washa from Millennium na meka ho asem no. Ene we there be determine the game no. Obi win game no. Whether say 90 minutes. And obi win game no during extra time. Enko penalties no. Score line is difference one. It's my mema wa dey bi wa. Makacho say 2008 2-2 and a call penalties. 2002 0-0 and a call penalties. 2004 Tunisia Eshe Morocco 2-1. Gabon Edamuni say 1. Ntieno yanko penalties. 2006 yako penalties. 2008 Egypt winning 1-0. Gabon 1. 2010 Egypt winning 1-0 against Ghana. Gabon 1. 2012 yako penalties. Zambia and Ivory Coast. South Africa 2013 Nigeria she Burkina Faso 1-0. Equatorial Guinea 2015 yako penalties. 2017 Gabon Cameroon she Egypt 2-1. Gabon say 1. Then 2019 Algeria she Senegal 1-0. Gabon say 1. Nti you read the new millennium no. AFCON actually say enyoma mienu na esi. Whether the game will go on penalties and I say winner and be winner difference near 1. I am fan penalties. Difference no 1. Eti me fa how I've watched these two teams at this tournament. Their strength is their defense. The strength of these two teams. Reason why they are here, defense.
Egypt and Senegal.
Yes. Now, also Egypt ba tournament no. They talk about the Egyptian national team aside Mo Salah being the star of the team no. Was El Ghazi. I went a lot of experience in the Premier League before moving to Saudi Arabia. In the Premier League with West Bromwich Albion. But Opera na omo last 2 matches ni bi no. Minim se wa hwene here. Mohamed Abdul Munen. Yes, I know mo Abdul Munen. Has I know mo kano. 23-year-old. And I hold Egypt defense no. Ono the command the Egypt defense no. Oko the other side the Senegalese defense is being controlled by the best center back in African football now, Kalidou Koulibaly. Adana ye share almost semi-final game against Burkina Faso no. Na ye celebrate go na abanti e friend say Sadio Mane share go na Abu Diallo share no. Eno na ye celebrate and I say Idrissa Gana Gede no. But before sa goes me and saying eba beba no. Kalidou Koulibaly e tackle bi. Eddie Ibo every Burkina their captain Chelsea boy Chelsea for a turn as young player Burkina captain Traore Bertrand Traore and that chance Kebeti has assigned the scoreline of the game. It's Excel say these are two countries whilst we talk about omo players omo attack omo timi change games no omo defenders omo timi preventing the opponent from scoring. It's uko Egypt there Maka Mohamed Abdul Munen and Aba Senegal Kalidou Koulibaly. Tino, we are in for a final. Based on the Omumio no showcase as this tournament, you can easily say Omubone yepe. Egypt will experience because see a Cup of Nations, it's all Champions League. The moment you mention Champions League, UEFA Champions League, you talk about Real Madrid. Oba CAF Champions League, you talk about El Ahly. Okasa about Cup of Nations, Egypt for there. Omuna ekoba no matter omo safru bi ase yem na ne ekobo bi time omo peso omo je no omo nim time omo peso omo je nti nyame ya adom ochina they will play in the final again against Senegal nyoma mienu na besi wo game nim tino whether the game will go on penalties based on the history and the amount behind the game and I say see ebe wie game no by 90 minutes and ebe ko extra time enko penalties the difference will be a 1-0 until let's watch out for 1-0 or 2-1 China final number bono. Na say ebe PM the only thing that will prevent Senegal from winning the cup tomorrow penalties.
Anya penalty panel pin play ba.
Yes, ade ebe prevent Senegal China game no muntimi nje
penalties dia
penalties.
Egypt dia.
But say game no anko penalties either 90 minutes or extra time be winning game now. Let's tip Senegal to win by 1-0 or 2-1 against country FNC Egypt. David de la Madonina baso eye ene enwumre at exactly 5 p.m. Na me bana metese Zaki to soon about Manchester United. Na em say Zaki to Manchester amana you confuse kakra. Zak sorry o.
Of the scene right. And I'm here church say I say football no. Yeah, so the easy route and say coach nyade. But yeah, I share ball no. Ko ball na share no. You can't blame coach Rafranik na nyade based on the chances that they created, and especially the chances that Bruno Museni na. And when I say chechiro metifo who dey see mra.
Tino and the game never koso ewo eye Giuseppe Meazza Sports Stadium San Siro. A gamer this season the first leg of Mobo, and it was a close game. Now Serie A no amaye 3 teams are as at this stage any opportunity to stay at the top of the league. Season is started with Napoli. On the road na Napoli Tisan na Milan be take over. Ye kwa na Milan Tisan ye and Inter Milan na be take over. It's yenu baby akwa na yenya 3 teams are occupy the top spot of the Italian Serie A. Napoli, AC Milan, Inter Milan. Currently Inter Milan and acquire the top spot one. And then the man Napoli free the top of the league. Injuries. Especially key players of Napoli team no. So far how Luciano Spalletti and Napoli team this season now. The spine of the team, aside goalkeeping, Kalidou Koulibaly in defense, Zambo Anguissa in their midfield, Victor Osimhen in the attack. It is Sandy Pami and Senya, Omon Echere, Koulibaly chair Napoli said almost defending. Anguissa chair the direction of their midfield. Then their finishing is being done by Abranti offensive Victor Osimhen. It is Sandy Pami and saying, a do see a boss season, a drew baby, no mommy and sending a pra, no you mufrio. Napoli nya players be show there. About mama equal quality see the players with them. They were lacking the goal scoring abilities of Victor Osimhen. The defensive stability as Zambo Anguissa at the moment and how Abranti offensive say Kalidou Koulibaly a control mo back line. The Napoli started almost lepo. Na Milan pick here on Besa mo. Milan nemo mo kwa. Then the Napoli story ebesu to Milan. Milan elusu Simone Kia. Milan ebelusu Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Milan elusu Rafael Leao. And offer sa players imiensa. When Milan probia obe control mo back line na Simone Kia with an experience. Rafael Leao is the spark of Milan attack and the finishing is being done by Zlatan Ibrahimovic. At the time of Mupraia, no, some games na Zaki toka no. Then Milan started slipping. Adia boy into this season, he say, "Sa story na, ye can about Napoli ni AC Milan Inter ko mubi." Say Enfansenka Inter, Omolusu, Stefan de Vrij, Omolusu Marcelo Brozovic, then Lautaro Martinez. And can Napoli story sa ne be kan fa Inter Milan no. Etime eye injuries. And I'm a Napoli, any AC Milan jina baby omujina, which Inter enjoy. And season is sanity. Sanyo manyama na SSC no be no opportunity. The same maybe a Van Dijk prior, then City took over the league from a club offense Liverpool because Liverpool enya equal replacement is a Van Dijk. And the City fa leg no mo de koye. And the game na e baso Tino. A close game. But there are key battles obi game ni bi anhwe. De di kan ni Dumfries any Abranti offense Tio Hernandez. Dumfries as the right wing back for Inter, Tio Hernandez as left full back for AC Milan. 2. Marcelo Brozovic and started the attack of Inter Milan. Etine me sure say how Milan played against Empoli. Because Empoli saw Samuel Ricci, our teacher Marcelo Brozovic. They are deep lying playmakers. I want to check the direction of play. How do you stop such players? It's Milan and Empoli no. What Pioli did was Omuvu Frankesi from the 2-man midfield no bono. Emma Frankesi ko boy like a number 10. It's in there. Uwe game now. Udomo Milan bebo in the 3-man midfield. Ismail Benasser, Sandro Tonali and Frankesi. But Frankesi will play as number 10 and the duty is to stop Marcelo Brozovic. Because Brozovic won game this one is difficult to stop Inter Milan. Tino me game ni dia. If Inter winning the game now, or too long, Omoko, the chase for the Serie A will be over. Then Milan will start preparing how to be in the top 4 and take a top 4 position. It's in the game ni dia based on how the two teams will set up. The game ni dia, a very likely see Benya the course of first one ni 1-1 no
draw.
The game ni dia. very likely see benya the course in the first one that Milan share 1 Emma Inter Milan share 1.
But I say Jibo 9:27 Govi are
oh nyebi
o me abefi kra na I mean tie Cap General Secretary no
father
o to Boba Park no so
chemo so don kono so che nyina
oh ye chairman so
menim why papa ye interested in seeing Sule Muntari in action o se enya na emra na opeso hu se Sule opeso hu the impactor Sule betimi enya e won team no so na o che impactor na o ma me reason why Egypt for no na make us o more spiritually fortify was say because Jesus Christ and then our for no e ho no mko siki refuge enti like as a higher ho mko siki refuge enti as a ho na
like I say ya ba be ka so le dia yenko UK Coventry City ana ni defender also wo hwe nyina enti no legend sana Adriana ba sent so to Boba Park so boga okay
city no Brunei no city there
ko fi wi e beka mo me amrai na ya ma fa fie de no anto aso na sese de report no e ba se F4 no minister after so ministry no e hia no o ma giatum se Chris Horton o ma na Aisha anaso ma na di dwumade no ntino de aka na eye confirmation no unveiling no na just say atwa so me ntie general secretary for CAF Mosembo Umba to Boba Park so say interference be ba me ntie de all kind I encourage joy.
The money that the government put for Black Star to go for the preparation, this is the natural right. The government has to check with the GFA how you spend each penny. This is the right. They have to do that. We encourage them to do that. This is one. The red line is the government cannot involve in the management of the federation. Even they lose 10-0. It cannot involve saying that we need to change the management, we have to change the coach, we have to... No. This is very dangerous. We don't want to come back to normalization again because this looks like interference. I beg the government, if this was the intention, please stop it. But encourage them to check, to monitor the fund they put in disposition of. That is normal. I don't think GFA is against this. As I know, the President Court is not against this. But please not involved in the management of the federation. That I wanted to say regardless.
Yeah. Why should the government put so much money at the disposal of the Ghana Football Association but cannot determine whether the people who run the association or who run the Black Stars or the national team are fit for purpose? Because
this is not the role. The role of the governor is to, your members association, they have been elected by the football family, elected them. And then they have the responsibility to conduct the football in the federation. And now, then they decide how to organize internally the federation. And now, because they have lost the game and we have to change the rule, no. The role of the governor stops how you use the fund that you put on your disposal. That's it. You cannot go beyond that to say that I will see why you put number 10 and now number 7. No. This is not his business. This is you enter in the autonomies of the federation. That FIFA and CAF cannot accept.
CAF General Secretary Mosembo Umba and now ni anam Joy FM twetwe nkoma a ogide sa ban no na no wuro mudodo nanso ni nyina mu no oze
onim na adwuma
sa ade
onim na adwuma onim de okay
so bi o hwe mran mu
I see the football see the mran ebo na ono akọ kan mran ne sese
sa bayi sese o interfere
da bi e no ya chiro
sa eni mran mu
eni se zakito wa ayi ateka 9 no how do go ateka 9 no simple as ABCD or say the association shall appoint the national technical director, the national coaches, and the administrative, technical, and medical staff. In the event that the government body responsible for sports assume full responsibility for salaries, social security contribution, and other staff payment, the association shall fill these posts in consultation with the said body. As I say, Sabino, ene tua onso ma key areas technical director national coaches enti ye de ne national coaches minim every technical director every na tua nka ana ban tua nka FIFA ne tua okay enti national coaches enti ye de no e ba under national coaches so what dem chena say ena mra ne say aban no ene tua aban no ene tua the FA acts like a consultant. Coach na yako fana ba 100 betu yanaka.
Abayano. Okay, we dey find point wana
na on sa man for interference. Tama ye be normalize football no. Who am na form normalization committee no. Who na FIFA man form normalization committee.
The same abaya.
Ti ano mo dey aban ni.
Ari.
CAF
say yes mu dia hwe time ne dia nti mu di week 16 nyina be ka ho no abechema bia no you 2-0 against high gold
mati
has bo great olympics
mati
ada 2-0 pa omu 2-0
ade
na oye nyoma bia the problem bebre club no enra okwa has Facebook page eno mu otwitwa omu training pictures eno de beto ubo se picture ni mu no Suleiman Tari ene abranche friend say dom told free drafts Dennis Kosa ombi ni John wo twa mo picture ene Sule kura bela kwa
sana kan gano nyanko onko kan
enu asam njisa nko kura you don't have to
ebeti possible say nko ye eti players no ebi ombenum suo foforo anya kengen
ti wo de babo ntia say wo hwe
ba me dey say other than say okotwa de babo ntia wa bra was sponsorship.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay.
Believe say born again oh.
Oh yeah nkofa meto so. Nkofa meto so.
O say adansi.
So wo bo ya promote kengen na so.
No me dey say me catch say the best way to run a football club and say club no. It be use the brand to generate money. Eh asrewa obi antimi na obi nyepe.
Of course.
So tell me say and pay me by me team phobia for life. They say me by be 2 house supporters. Reason why they should contribute because me there masem nyina ne say enyia say house for do money that so nyina akose togwem.
No, phobia for life is successful. Togbe will not be financing the club directly again because has yearly recurrent expenditure. Enu scanner year no omenya 6 million Ghana cedis no. I think has spends about 2 million cedis. If I'm right.
2 million in a year.
No. I me okay, mama.
Annually ana.
Mama fa ntunchen. We mama fa scan ntunchen. Enu 6 million. I
based on okay no because over the year just enche bia no kotokoma ya we say they spend over 5 million a year. Ghana cedi. So enti no season. Yeah, season like them then
50
kotokosi my we say almost spend over 5 million.
50 billion.
Yes.
A year.
That is the money they spend.
Hey, and too much.
That is the
50 billion.
Yeah, I doubt.
Oh,
I'm not doubting their work, but I doubt because then it would be too much.
It's very possible.
Based on the salaries and based on the
Kotoko salaries na kwasro da ben. Kotoko salaries na kwasro da ben.
E dey say na okay.
Da bin kwasro da ben.
Akosro.
Me o bin ka say kwasro but kwasro da ben.
Over the last years I can easily say salary na increase over 300%.
Wow.
And don't forget the other expenses. So what you mention say?
No, you see if anything project say we know the work then just entire but your project is budgeting.
Okay, let's do simple calculation.
Project yearly calculation.
Let's do simple calculation. Osha Kotoko every month be our expenditure is saying including salary.
Me come in salary range no.
300,000 Ghana cedis.
Well, a bit me, but
let's strike it at 300,000 Ghana cedis. Times 10 months, you say.
Send it 30,000.
Hey, 300,000 Ghana times 10 months, you say. 3 million Ghana cedis. It is 3 million Ghana only on salary. 3 million Ghana cedis 30 billion. I cut 20. My day expenses, match expenses. Yeah, buy, yeah. Other staffs are there, they are paying them.
O se salary that staffs in the account. So you see any pay dem film. Administrative for their management for their account. Technical team for their account.
3 million. Ni nyina they conclude at 3 million. And no come at 30 million.
But I'm saying that for instance project your project so we a year because project no e be spending over a year 2 years 3 years to better now they are yearly expenditure
budget kan wo ade ba ko ezo hu ni say football club na wo ho no player injury medicines that you buy omo tu kwan hotel ombeda sa nyoma put them in for any calculation about the 5 million Ghana cedis they do
well anyway go for menko
yeah
wadaro me da say enti senior abetabo ntia yem say nyina active no see idea FA no has been government no has been successful in forcing Chris Eaton on the FA. They've pushed Chris Eaton through the truth or in the truth of the FA. I'm a FA no more or less. No, like him as some can say no credit. They force him on and can you have choice? Can FA no peno? But the other no now I say power play power man pass man. What here David no. That is many information come pick here no. A part of the reason why I kept one Magana because he didn't want to be part of the meeting. Even though another information I'm picking is that almost fair almost kasai, but what say in common one ne kasa no kano when you be an say we excited about idea now I say we say we no be din common ade na say fan ho tie bia no tie bia de okay we dem so ma fine yeah we dem fan sa bibia sa bia tinya de ampe no but dead no na ka fofo so de one ya bra no say interfere in the administration of football. But interference in the administration of football. Obiago can say football no this way or that way. Coach and a yepe and a yamo kan ma pick bi na see enso pese pick enso e bi and enso pick e de ama wo mo. Enti onu ka general secretary no he's also interfering in our affairs. That's also another way of interference. You say ti ekro muti o ka fa baby ekra wo fi bia no na be ka che say ne kwan fa so emfa ye coach me go fa coach fo na che say wo krom fo no nhye na o mo nkonye sa na kwan person cha na sasen o so interference na so ye no wo fa sa kwan no so fa say ye ko fa coach o nya ade no ni krom fo no hye ye nya sa
adwe no
anu se nya adwe na de nti o be ka che coach ayemfa coach ho asem ne ye ka
on ka coach afa o
ati na jibo so nim na adwuma no because omo aka of no mra no makwan say sa aban FIFA mra no say sa aban no etua coach ni ka dia say ye fa coach no aban no ho kwan say on so na no tumbi aso ya kan say titi the news around House of Folk it keep becoming exciting and I think say something that say ye ball ma baso ye timitira ha na ya super wo mo ni asopa wo mo anti se omo ya de na yesusu a na ya heden ni abo ma baso se bona ge betima abo me a ena omo lanchi phobia for life the same time na no take advantage to also introduce kangen water e de kire omo chitafo no ni wiase nyina ntu se wo hwe afie ba ne a omo yisu as one of the face of the product and I say omo partnership no and afie ba ne is wearing the phobia for life you know if I say t-shirt no or much how you bet my phobia for life no star 389 star now if you wabo 1911 so what I say we say 1911 House of Folk you know omo awoda no to bo 1911 straight it lead you into say be ya bet me a contribute to and the target is that every month bia no say omo nya nipa 100,000 no bia atua 5 cedis a ombenya a certain amount of money afini ba so no matimenya 6 million Ghana cedis nti eba ne sa na em say ubetua 6 Ghana cedis every year no obi a ubetua 6 Ghana cedis if I'm right month 5 cedis
25 times 12
60 cedis nti say we House of Folk supporter 60 cedis 200 crore 60 cedis pena utua 60 cedis a year ni nyina no we dey 60 cedis into wetin the 1 month credit 60 cedis no up or baby atena and say nipa 100,000 and I'm saying that and yet they're not talking about 200,000 they're not talking about 300 they're not talking about 500,000 up to even 1 million Ghana nipa do they just need a nipa 100,000 pay say House of Folk supporters across the globe we are seeing 100,000 and decided so make contribute to 5 cedis and the team no busumi bia afi no wow mu nyina mo kabo mo contribute to 6 million Ghana cedis and omo ogidie say eno no and na Jibo has always been talking about say individual emphasis kan team no where you one of the means just say now stakeholdership no oma blooding no once you are contributor and oma system in such a way say who log into it and na I register as a member of the club. When you log in, you na register, and it takes you through a certain process directly. No, now club no who say straight away we are direct contributor to the club, and with this 6 million Ghana cedis, for what I know, they are good to go. At least the yearly expenditure. No, so of course get beba other sponsorship no who contribute beba, but we one that and the say abesi working to do waje now the year. Didn't you know we want to encourage omunyina so we now omo aye bi omo Olympics ni omo has no Olympics match no omo ye friend say promo bi jingle bi me de masame na statement bi a omo de start na ama me akachi me attention was say the superiority of the oak tree is meaningless unless it is done with the execution of Accra Great Olympics. The superiority of the oak tree is meaningless unless it is done with the execution of the of Accra Great Olympics. It gives you an idea how Ochina game you know or more approaching no and winim and no sulaba adentia when you can get water adentia phobia for life say omutiminya a good game and you win over Great Olympics Ochina ebe catapult House of Folk into ebe use as a driving force and they are pushing all this project now almost start to embark you know and I say normal almost you know one the Sule project ebe kick started very well and then the Kengen water and then phobia for life ni nyina no ebe kick started well now information no nie omo if you say omo ni sports authority for ne kasa say on match day for instance say ochina no pa sorry ochina wia say omo Olympics match no ensu e beton no stadium won say ayi ya kapa o ukokotoko matches a tema na kotoko ewo ensu for sponsors no but when go for ton other ones go come say sports authority for no as so meton ho eda no de eye kotoko dia mane ntole no ma things that are related to the club no mo so for raise bibi kakra and the house for no authority sports authority for no you say match days House of Folk match days
be am first fufuro bi ama
what happen e beton ho mo bi am fansu fufuro bia e ma ho no mo na omo san so plan say omo be san aye bibi kura say woto o match ticket na it comes with 1 bottle of water
na e ka ho o get wa
ge we use
ma wa na e ka
ticket ma wa na wa you issue na
no so bad
and I understand say omo de insurance card be kwa ko ticket nim minim how it will be done mbajo man to question asi o say I don't minim say be house the betua insurance kana say ticket ni sika ni na be ko
based on the work no eno friend oh you wouldn't be a defender I escape me kaka but so yeah time
okay time and to bomb time
say maybe a company biba maybe I will take it also you know your time na what or no a share of the ticket
okay
the ever say be a ticket near 20 Ghana cedis maybe or no SK will maybe a 5 Ghana cedis
okay
and to 15 or no 5
okay
so to them say it which means the based on the all cancer san etie there e kire say a time and occasion for ne house for you
okay
it is no there will be an amount e be come ho so to them say there will be an amount e be come ho but the house for one emansu the other way so no say e be a house will decide say the be support be a benya test for insurance so to them say
omuna to
insurance take it
na has to be
no and said anya common based on numbers because omuntimi ka say match day bia no insure 10,000
if they are
insure 10,000 definitely they will have a percentage on tickets kana oje no
therefore na
ofa mi wie tie Ghana Kumasi de na santimemu de Victorious Collins ena Kenny water no
ojo ojine din o
oh say on na jibo insure so abere obi so do de buy no wanye sir basa unia no
o ma say we no so de ba na protest ya
dia ba no the number is 0242 876 02 upe bia Kenny water na wakɔ ne hɔnom na ama obi
yo yache what ninyi na awuram na kotokon so betuma to awiai akopie mu ɛwɔ Mina na me nya nte sɛ mande ai Chief Justice Ebeka Traveling Squad no tino de tie no Govi
tino well you see it's good for Accra folk omo anya one sponsor good for the club product about Sikaka Krasubeba so product no the tie no say any amount of money be na house folk in terms of a budget or the talk in soon Sasika will be saved because house of food training grounds or training sessions no way friendly matches competitive games we be mobile biano house of folk will be served with this mineral water and the house of folk in raise budget for insuo bill and it's a house of folk budget for insuo in a year be 50,000 as 100,000 Sasika will be saved because more partners no ebetimi aserve almost insuo no so it's good so mbenya sa product no every this particular air sponsorship then again si council ebeba but ne tene ne say already a friend say Francis Afulani no so contracting he signed he is the commercial manager of Accra Folk your friend Francis Afulani ne tene ne say owadwuma ye e wo house folk pa sisi ayetiwe targeter Togba Fede Edemano any plea or they told the board chairman and Togba Fede our board chairman and penny for so granted and simply no the buyer not say and the baby house of folk jinano the targeting it goes way beyond this mineral water sponsorship no some church a normal one board near you ma chirimu hada. Sir, Omofano as a commercial manager, this time this is how House of Folk they've decided to go. Sir, Omofa MDs upon MDs, dear, Omo expected from MDs on almost any day, enka. And see, Omobefa a commercial manager on their responsibility and say on generating revenue and from a club and don't hear from MDs no honti or the commercial manager and be yes, that's the main responsibility. And to Mofa Francis Afulani no. And Afulani no so pleading with the board and say, Omo man a no so recruit 3 people, additional members meka ho. Now Omo form a team of commercial management. O Clementino Otieni. And so when I do buy then you plead that say emfa Zakito meka ho. Yemfa Kofi meka ho, yemfa Bafo meka ho. Near form a team of commercial management. And at the moment, more of 4 people being headed by Onono Francis Afulani. And he is heading that management team of commercials at the time. House of Folk at the Premier League, Omaji FA Cup, Omaji Super Cup. No makwa a global icon in Sulemuntari Dinababa club name. Jenny, idea was ultimate cotton club in Biano. House of Folk was Adiano. They are defending champions of Premier League, defending champions of FA Cup, Super Cup Kitaomo. They have the trouble. Then they have Sulemunta, an iconic figure bet me at all. No. And to Oranje Francis Afulani no. Why are there? So it's me this sponsorship Ediama Accra Folk. But the reality is that I was a Ojebe account because our avenues were bet me there yes no. And to onion who no one side and from Accra Folk. In my opinion, no he's a good person. I mean, he's such a nice character. I've had an encounter with him. He's such a nice character. It is a born again. Ebet me decided not to 20. So o projected the man Clementino ubie pa ubo say ure friend say Afulani ono na assign sa contract na House of Folk for any mineral water for no enya so it is just good. It's just fine for Accra Folk. Now Tino has elbow against a great Olympics. Say Sule Bobobi, say Humbobi, the mate and say he'll be part of the team. You get it. Sule Muntari will be part of the team. So Bobobi, so Humbobi, and the mentre. But Nathan say, Andra sa voice na a buyer. Mr. Samuel Bodu Kasa pa on top of his voice. None the boy fu pa. Say game way, o man share anje 3 points. One try anje 3 points and free Olympics wa. The anger sa supporter and the Kasa no react no. Supporters na bufu no e be more than. sa ebufo na papa ne earlier on de kasae no na enra na ashime se Mr. Bodu ekasa the manner in which he spoke na ye me ja at some point in time na me interested in discussing asema supporter na ye den ekan no because supporters are always like this. Mr. Samuel Bodu, you were born, you were free, so supporters are always like this. You get it? So seminar support and kind, you leave a lot of House of Four supporters on making this same assertion of the team. Why? Because you're starting season, now Frederick and Saboche never House of Four games. A supporter that doesn't know what is happening. Obe questions are identify and Saboche on mobile. And to say a coach now person or react here, you only give reason why and Saboche have one day. Ombo. The seven previous, I won't can't answer with Jimmy. Let me condemn it. It was so bad in a distasteful manner. Me never go to some years adian. When I need to know and it's a baby because I want to be but support I won't name what is happening. No? He has the right to be annoyed or furious with why I know my ACC or club name. This is how they behave. It happens everywhere. And then came no more against Great Olympics. See, Makasa this season has a problem problem they've had a lot of inconsistencies in the season. They have to focus on kakra, no matter from kakra. They had a good one the last game that they played. I'm share 1-0. Was it against Mediama? It was good for them. They are playing against Great Olympics. The last 2 seasons, Olympics, they've been very, very, very stubborn when it comes to House of Folk Great Olympics. Olympics for no, but almost House of Folk. We don't know how they gather that momentum to play against House of Folk. Now, in the absence of Ansaboche Makase, House of Folk, I don't remember me saying creativity so better. And so Shoma against Mediama, who would send creativity no swati. And Jumani do not about Abijina Branch friends or being junior. Then a free banner. I want to see this squad, South squad and the boy against Mediama, especially in the attacking type one. I want to see that squad be maintained because I saw some of being junior now. Or Bodyman House of Folk at Twaso, at the Quantis Premier League. I saw Obi Junior played in SA. Even when he doesn't score, he moves a lot, he runs a lot. Interpositional changes between on a 3 year ban here, and the didn't say defenders bet me hold on to them. So when Obi Junior is playing a 3 year ban here, and it's difficult to stop House of Folk attack. So I want to see Sa attacking the boy against Mediama. It's going to be a difficult game, but I'm still going for a 2-1 victory for Team Friends across the folk against Great Olympics. On Monday, into Monday, I don't see Ken Faisal picking 3 points against RTU. Yeah, I don't see them picking the 3 points against RTU. Sadat squad no. Sadat aba. Sadat and the minimal quantity out of 41 is such a fine method. But Abagna Yan recover when Yan and fitness in the back into Abagna Emma. But has Confessor for the tricer on bit me. I recover after 4 games, but I think say a drawn game will be a fair result between them. It be a brain hot into me call a binding sense anymore. But to me, boss and I'm discuss this issue. Monday. It's in common kind. Say, I buy it your more. Me say a discussion a day. A course of Cameroon. To me, the ACB and Shada. It was a discussion they have concluded. Semilo and Twaso as the head coach of the Blasters, and that the management team of Blasters will be dissolved, and that the government will bring their own. He should lead Ghana Blasters. It was a discussion. We conclude here. It's only manifesting so my bomb. Now, Chris Hilton Erba as the head coach of Ghana Blasters, Clementino. The Amma manager said, "If any choice and I know on the panel, those choices are becoming assistant managers. Utuado, Ibrahim Tanku. Mbajawatase. They na FA ni person they buy market okeku ekwo Germany no kwa Dortmund no. Utuado mo eba as an assistant manager to Chris Hilton. What it means is that FA ni de na ayeden aba. And buy na so de na ayeden aba. In terms of CV profile, Chris Hilton was return Ibrahim Tanku and Utuado. That is the reality. So someone now at some wase some be adwuma bom dia. What it means is that Ibrahim Tanku and Utuado will have the opportunity, the benefit to learn from Ure friend Chris Hilton. So I go akoya power play say oh ya na de Utuado abantu Utuado kwa kire de Chris Hilton say sa power play ni ba dia enya adwuma. But some better na so my adwuma dia. The reality is that these two assistant coaches, you know, they could possibly take over from Chris Hilton, but that time no more their power. Okay. Ideally. But the M1 say, it's a government intervention. Me who say intervention of Clementino. Omu between $120,000. Abba for my bare $100,000 for reference say Chris Hilton. Abba for my bare $100,000. So a bank can save Blaster's job this way. Question me Busana say, can't we save the football in general, like the football in as a whole? So ban bit me push it this amount of money, or bit me this influence, this level of influence. Me transfer na me share pitches say boss ball. Me transfer na me share the development of football in this country. Ni me Busa say, why is it always the top? What I say? Sabani brace of person
you look out for so.
Sabani brace of person before football one. It's always at the top. But in football, you try to be sincere and me fancy. Also say the day you ought me more man under 17. The day you ought me more man under 17. But you ought me more man under 20 or my day or my broso. But when is a player or under 17 or under 20 will beat me about their blasters. What I say? And football is developmental, it develop near the kwakwaku rasroho. But at any point in time, the FA as a body, then the government as the power force in terms of decision making, decision no focus on concentration is always at the top.
Zach,
Bram Zach. You know, interesting. Me who's the last I'm not gonna say I see it as a positive interference because on the Chiaka and even FIFA I don't know FIFA omo status now omo very careful and they say omo say in Africa most of the national teams in miss communication associations no and as a federations in miss communication omo national teams. Ebia we Egypt money Morocco money say aka kan firuwa South Africa mu firuwa dia kan ni na no e aban o ma ban and invest huge sums of money our national teams so they are aware and why FIFA we are very careful when they are the status almost sure say na omo dey omo dey carry ka be sure say in a situation where aban no chase car ye ni say because omunim say in Africa say most of the countries now are buying the national teams you know. And you know was consult and abanos who were consulting the FA o man can say chinchina they were consulting whatever it was you were consulting and about it be and make an announcement of a head coach. This is FNG team and what you know and the bedroom level banner FNG team Omega to because Omena Bana shading Komo. And Obi Ajatum say, fine, let's announce Chris as the head coach. It's on nothing baby I can answer one as one for our because you see you don't grant this kind of interviews. Say Abai FN Bakacham say they think say
Abane yes say
yeah. Then you write official letter bring to the to Ghana.
By in the end then crab be able to do near
so you know why we go to know can say na aso usa na aso na Ghana that maybe I Ghana do ya tell hunu and Ghana e bia eti ya tell hunu na eti you should understand our position and me kind of that say me what kind of argument that you make say Otoado is a better coach than Chris so and nse be bia ono no free oba no ne level no ebi abeka say oh recently we had Abraham Grant e coach Chelsea by like brother na damfo Chelsea wura na damfo and do there na say o de be fam sa ara kobi
go ba kan say dey
ay
okay say na
Abraham Grant say by CV no the buy no na say was Robert Okuchi Chelsea by lack Abraham Grant was Okuchi Chelsea
wasn't it by like
no exactly too why you more the Pi FM that chance station be found now the CV or the Pi FM na ko na say for juma so be tena because what na the Pi FM by like I say be ya power he managed Chelsea to the Champions League final and that time that is the CV or the bow
just argument cannot cause maybe where was he Accra station be no abo asana me ba see but when no you see Chelsea before Chelsea no or coach Israel coach team na coach Israel teams and Chelsea no you na AC
where they
no Chelsea no AC and the FOB
oyoni
and the FOB
and Ukraine na nya lack
no
but na nya lack
there's no way Chelsea like say you coach Chelsea per coach e go where ya say abandant for see that never for you
nya lack so baba you hu nsano adwuma
so papa dey down for
and I make
he kept on as Chelsea coach because he took them all the way to the Champions League final it enriches his CV
man that be who say me ata make
Razak Flo na Rocky
aba Chelsea no and I say that appointment na oni any reach CV nanka
kwanim Zak
ye dey appoint as a Chelsea coach so but what we no dey ni CV no so no tisa ko bia by the merit by the performance you know based on baby a Chris Friba on compare coaches that I think say the news of me na kofi you know minim why you argue say na yempe Chris say nya for any reasons other reasons and football reasons dia and they be jatu but it's a football reasons pa dia Chris Sandstore and yembo mabaso Tino yembo bechem United for baso bechem United are doing wonders so Marco 7 games in a row without conceding somewhere no Oko Basel France he's back and he's available to play against House tomorrow and last America Olympics team no yes Awaku was a big guy in the team but the best player in that team is Samuel Ashikwe no the ball on the attacking because or pace or dribble or BBR it's you know bad news for us is that at least so unya Akeme go back for suspension into one back against Kotoko unya Ashikwe Samuel Baka it means that Omastron team are strengthened and the Kokoshi House of Folk therefore Iran has a good signing the contract Sule Muntari being part of the Madrid squad so it's Ochina I want to see the attendance improving based on the fact that Muntari is part of the traveling squad and I said Madrid squad now has a game no Muntari a part in Kwano should improve attendance at Accra Sports Stadium Tino I would be surprised say game no end in a draw based on how these two teams recently Omushia games no entire corner so because recent times as Olympics is stubborn they want to prove that they are the owners of the land come on I'm say Kronia Omodia Omushia has Biana they are boogie side for House of Folk in recent times so a game that I will not be surprised say game no be end in a draw come tomorrow at Castle based on two teams in no how House of Olympics team no so Oma strengthening team no with these two key players coming back to play against House of Folk and House of Folk Mofo still now no say Oma last two games you know he's tried to play Salim and Ushao then no bought first Salifu and Salifu Epra their last game no bought Befi once Akamenko is on the bench so Awaku is on the bench Asabochu on the bench or more so minim how he will line up against Olympics tomorrow say Obako say with the Befi no and I say Obe year experience in Awaku and I say Asabochu it's you know on a problem as to who the adding to Salim ni Usha no I amuna amumu fit throw no any problem it's but for Olympics I think say omo form no share nye convincing sir, but the prove that crash stadium they are difficult to crack. So it's you know advantage will not be bad. So 1-1 be so because there will be goals in the game. Until 1-1 score and be likely as well as if you say bet me.
House of 4 game. I think on my last game, you know, I said media am right. Ken Faisa. So my last game, no, 1-0.
Okay, yeah, and I mean, when now,
okay. Now, Chairman Fulabi, chairman of all chairmen. Chairman of Fulabi.
And the country.
One Urana, I'm saying anybody use as one year boneda.
Chairman of Fulabi. We are brother. We are brothers.
My brother from another mother, Dr. Kelvin. Ura, definitely. Me
well, US they are program. Ya Osebunsu, ya Usubunsu.
Ya Usubunsu. See, so omutie wa anano so yi frame nimo omuso frame akọ radio US Chicago sa na 2 AM last weekend ye programs they say almost 2 AM ye tie program no.
Oh yeah.
Be 4 AM or baby so what I see and they always just try to watch the program. I don't know.
Benito Sakwate Kizito na USA
kwesi nephew Germany kwesi nephew kwesi oya House of Folk supporter and osanso ye Milan supporter. And baby, I say, but baby, so we are Milan supporter. Kwesi, then of course, definitely the tampon should be a program. Could you be proud mates? I mean, these are good brothers. You didn't come find it.
Yeah, for few course, we now Rocky Eba or Bob 0322 494 401 0322 49. Europe Barca started with let's go Madrid, you know, match is new boys in the bit me IBB kakra dia mama no massive season, you know. Of course, Otto Barca shares be AFCON so AFCON so then in Italy, Milan derby, you know, me say me can from day one. Meaning why some people thought to say Milan could challenge for the Serie A title. I've never seen them as contenders. Question FB from Marco. Ricardo Kofi Ala Rikaka Mencha. So Clementino near 10 and full of action. Oh yeah, full of action.
Monday.
Yes.
You'll be here. Send my catch on Minya and Kaji Senegal for the court of Alim CC.
Okay.
But Egypt for they are the most spiritually fortified country when it comes to the AFCON. Egypt won. Now what is say? Omani Cameroon no. What game now? What is that last minute no? Extra time deep into the extra time no. 120 minutes no. Last minute they created an open chance, clear chance, tapping chance. Sa born combo to ma but now can be free stadium no attention no Cameroon. So that is Egypt. So we are going to watch one of the crucial finals and I think say AFCON no, we are all happy. I'm happy to have been part of a team acquired to witness this good tournament. It has been very, very, very good. We want to remember for years. And Clementino, that is it. Nyame adoma Monday baba. Now once again, ya sanso ababa betwa
so dey ama Ghana for. E da say Catherine Opokumensa o atosubu kura no na ye wa woda. No e wehye wa hara o se course ebu konti mo frɛ wo mo ye bibia de mpa yeta wachi Catherine Opokumensa wo atosubu kura no na ye wa woda nti no nyame so enguso ana won trawashi Mr Doggy asenia show we onfanya nkwada won so monitor na Doggy ni nyina no monitor de na just Don Sky was say enei birthday no ami adomo a yeko ewe Greenwood Gardens nti no ticket ne de obepiem ewo tasty lunch and bar wo hwe just school no see school opposite wa more egu ho ti kwamase no ne buakwafo no ba nyina na momfa tasty lunch and bar na monkoto 250 Ghana for adofro bra na ye mo ne live band ye mo aduane bibia bi ebesu ho no mo someone came answer Chief Executive Producer na yes born again and our boy Juma papa utwa no wuram no afa I mean Shabon and that is say for Trinfita Nantio Kodefusu bibia befa why ni nyina mu no and out striker enka sanso na Zakito Sariki and ni nyina mu no Bafowa ono so e ma show no eye kama the darling boy Clementino and I'm go so etim at the same time to champion boss baby I will be ano ye chiao e UK in him say enchekra no boss player bisi for na fe wa bekan ho na show no etimi awie pentino ene ye be ho adwuma na term fourth no ye de aye ho adwuma na chena so no grand finale no ye de abramo ne de league matches